also, and excuse the mess, of course, there's the epoxy I've been using. It's been so wet down here, we've gotten so much rain that I was unable to lay the glass for quite a long time. Alright, let me get over in here. Kind of show you where we're at. The stringers are glassed all the way around. I put an extra piece here. It came out a little wrinkle. I'm going to grind that off. But it was an extra piece to bring the width. It wasn't a part of the original. This stuff's hard to see, and I don't know if the camera picks it up or not. I actually did the whole motor well. Re-glassed the entire motor well, and basically I'm going to be trimming all these edges off right here, and of course through here too. This stuff threads up real bad on the metal roller. When you roll it back and forth, it'll catch that stuff. And I don't know if over here it feels pretty dry. Didn't really get a lot of air bubbles in it, which is good. I did have some air bubbling. You know, the hardest places to get were right along the edges. There are 4 layers here. 2 layers of solid cloth that loop and go around the stringers, and then 2 layers of tabbing all the way around as well. I didn't really need to do the bottom of the floor here, so it only came out as you can see to right here where it ends, and it starts right here and goes this way. You can see that tabbing underneath there. This stuff goes pretty clear once you put it on. But I got all the stringers done, so now I'm at a point where the tank can go back in. And it really came out really nice. I don't know if you can see all this stuff. It went all the way across. Probably the camera hardly even picks it up. The toughest places to get the air bubbles out were here along these lines. It didn't want to come out right there. I've found a couple of air bubbles here and there, just really small ones. But for the most part, it looks really, really good. There's a place there that kind of was dry, but that's fine. This gets filled up with foam, so it's got a ways to go. And then I'm going to take some type of, and of course, all of this top edge here will be ground off, because once the floor goes in like that, the floor will come up like that, then I'll sand all the edges, and then another piece of cloth will lip and tie the 2 floors together all the way across the whole thing. So my next step is actually going to be cutting the plywood for that area right there, and cutting the plywood for that area right there. And of course that's going to cover up these holes, except for an access hatch, which will be right here like that. It came out really nice. This stuff's pretty easy to work with. At $1,700 in epoxy, you pay a little more for it, but it sure is easy to work with. This is my first job ever doing any fiberglass work, so it's been a real experience. I can tell you this, what I have learned, it's hard work, really hard work. A lot of this stuff I still got to sand the edges, and all of this back here I'll have to go over with sandpaper, and then take some kind of fair and putty from this point down and across, from front to back. All the top sections will be carpeted, but these sections won't be. Of course, once the plywood goes on here, we get the plywood on here, there'll be 2 more layers on top of here. And I haven't actually checked. I need to check and see where my motor mount thing goes. To see if that sits up there. I think I'll check that. Alright, so this is the bracket that I built for my motor mount. And the way I did this was I made these outriggers so I'd know exactly, and then I marked it here, and these outriggers will go back against the part right there, and then simply measure 22¼ inches, and this pulls up like that right there. So that's where the mount actually goes. So when I set that off, and this is pretty close, it's maybe, I got 2 more layers to go on this, so I think it's going to be fairly close to dead on the money. At least 2 more layers. I may do an extra pad right there. This here section has 3 layers on it, so you got 2 layers of tabbing, 2 layers around, and then 1 extra layer that covers the entire part all the way up to right there. That comes from here over. I was dual purpose trying to build that up, and I may be able to just oblong that little hole out right there for the motor, or what have you. I'll figure it out as I get to that point, but that's where the motor mounts will go back in at. Alright, that's all I've done. I'll update y'all when I put the other 2 boards in there, and of course get the fuel tank back in. The fuel tank goes in, those 2 go in, and then I can set the plywood up here and go ahead and cut the floor for up here, figure out where the seat base, metal seat base mounts go, and work on it from that side. I'll talk with y'all later. See you.